Sorry there, guy. There's no more food left. Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make McDonald's sausage and egg McMuffins. So this is a family recipe passed down to me from me a few weeks ago. If you're like me and currently staying at home due to the coronavirus, then you might find yourself wanting some takeaway without actually taking the risk of having someone else prepare your food. So this is a quick and easy recipe on how to make sausage and egg McMuffins. So basically we've got the muffins ready to go with some cheese on them. We've got 3 eggs here, fry pan, and some sausages. The other thing we'll be using to make the patties is just a round lid. So we want something to make the patties round. So we're going to go through that process now. Just move these out of the way. The other thing I'll mention is we've got some hash browns in the oven at the moment. So you can't have a McMuffin without a hash brown. So the first thing we're going to do is make our patties. So we'll just take in regular sausages, and we're going to basically we need to cut off the skin. So the other method is to just you can buy a sausage mince from Woolies, but if you've got sausages lying around the house, then this is another good approach. So we're going to take off the casing off the sausage. Okay, we put the sausage just in the middle of that your round cutout. So I'm using a lid. I've covered it in a bag, and you'll see why shortly. But basically, we're going to spread that sausage mince around to make a round patty. You might feel just as comfortable doing it by hand, but this just sort of helps get the right shape and thickness. So feel free to use any other method. Now I've tried with both Coles sausages and Woolworth sausages, and I've found that the Woolworth sausage is a lot closer in consistency to a McDonald's patty. Now I've made my first patty. I'm going to lift the top of the bag, and that just helps me pull it away from the lid. So if I was just using the lid by itself, then we would have had difficulty getting it out. So moving on to the second patty. Now I haven't started up the cooktop yet. I've put oil in it, it's ready to go. You could have it preheated, but you'd then have to put the patties on a separate plate, and then they risk sticking. Alrighty. The second one down. The other thing you should consider including with your sausage and egg McMuffin meal is some orange juice, but not real orange juice, some cheap concentrated stuff, just to get that imitation of that McDonald's feel about it. You don't want anything too gourmet. And alrighty, second patty almost done. Yeah, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect shape, just as long as it's relatively round. No customers should complain. Alright, second patty down, got 2 more to go. So I'm only making 3 muffins, but one of them is going to be a double sausage and egg McMuffin. I haven't made one before, but I'm just testing it out, testing out the theory. Alright, removing that skin. Now, I guess the key thing with this is making sure you don't overcook the patties, burn them. You don't want them to be crunchy at all, or just ruins the experience. So we're going to cook them on a lower heat, just so you get a nice consistency. Just a little bit. One more to go. Yeah, I mean, as the virus started to come into the news quite a bit more, we really started to cut down on eating out. Not that we ate out a lot, but it sort of made you think about it a little bit more, because you didn't know who was preparing your food, had they come from overseas recently, who have they been in contact with. So we started to sort of limit eating out down to sort of a handful of one or two sort of places. But as it sort of got worse and worse, obviously we don't eat out at all now. Cook everything at home. Just because you at least have visibility over where the food's from and who's had contact with it. So, alright, so now they're on the burner. So I'll just put it on a low heat. Alright, we've got that going on a low heat. I'll just tidy up this mess here. Now typically at this stage, I've already pre-prepared the buns, but typically at this stage, while the patties are starting to cook, it's a good time to get out your muffins, cut them in half and put the cheese on them, ready to be put in the oven. Don't put them in the oven until the patties are getting close to being cooked, but it's a good sort of time to do that. Alrighty, I'm going to just pause it and we'll come back online as they're getting closer to being cooked. Alrighty, as you can see, the muffins are the patties are starting to cook a little bit. You want to make sure there's plenty of oil in the pan, otherwise they will start to stick, and that will cause us issues in the next stage, which is the eggs. As I was reminded by my wife yesterday. I've just given you an example of some juice which fits the criteria of a McDonald's tasting juice, which is Golden Circle orange juice. It's got that fake sort of flavour that you'd expect from a McDonald's beverage. The other option is, obviously, if you're more of a coffee person, to have make your own cappuccino to go with your muffin. But yeah, this juice is highly recommended for this purpose. Big writing here, serve chilled. That's because without being cold it really tastes rubbish. I think the coldness sort of masks the taste, to be honest. But yeah, great for a breakfast. You could do a fresh juice, but that's going to ruin the dodgy McDonald's experience. Alright, I'm going to leave those going for a moment. We'll be back in a second. Alrighty, those patties are getting closer, so it's time to put the muffins in the oven. preheated to about, well, I preheated it to about 180, but I've just dropped it to 160. I've still got the hash browns in there, so you can sit them along with the hash browns if they're nearly done. Alright, so they're getting very close. See the thin layer on the top there is something you sort of want to try and avoid, if you can. Alright. I'm going to put this piece of paper down to capture any runoff oil. Going to set that there. Next stage is the eggs. Alrighty, so we're going to crack 3 eggs. This is where I'll stuff up for sure. If you had an egg ring, obviously it's going to be a lot better. But I'm a minimalist, so I don't have an egg ring for use today. Now we're going to sit these eggshells there. Going to separate these eggs, keep them apart. The trick is to, whichever egg is the best egg, that's the one you give to your wife. So far it looks like this guy's in front. This one's a failure. I'll have to eat that. This one's not looking too bad either. So you want to wait until they're ready to flip before you try and flip it. Otherwise you're going to make a mess, which I always do. Yeah, if you had an egg ring, a round one preferably, it would actually help with the experience, but you know, if you can get away with it without it, why not? Okay, that one's flipped. It's my dodgy one. Flip, and then the other one, which is also good. Now you can cook your eggs how you like them. You know, at McDonald's they're cooked quite well in terms of well done. Some may say rubbery. You know, if you're more of an easy over person, you could put an easy over egg on your McMuffin. Just going to check on those muffins. Alright, yeah, the cheese is sort of melted quite well there, so we're coming up to the final straight here. Oh, it's a bit of a boo-boo. Alright, so I mean, as you can see, this meal is relatively quick. I mean, it's relatively simple. You just need sausages, eggs, McMuffins, and some cheese, and hash browns preferably, and some dodgy orange juice. But you know, it's quite a cheap breakfast. The sausages I bought for 55 cents, believe it or not. It was the day before Easter, and the supermarket had cleared them out. So yeah, 55 cents for a packet of sausages, so those sausages are about 7 cents each, so you know, definitely worked out cheaper than a McDonald's muffin. But I mean, the main thing is it's, you know, you're in control, you make sure you know where the food's been. Obviously we have been at home for limiting our journeys, so less likely to have exposure to the virus. Alright, so I'm about to get these muffins out and start constructing the muffins. I'm just going to turn that off, they're good to go. I'll wet my hands. 20-second rule. If it seems like less, it's just because I've paused the video. Alrighty, so we got our muffin. It's been lightly toasted. First is to put the patty on, then the egg, then the top goes on. So you end up with a nice sausage and egg McMuffin. Move on to the next one. I'll finish dishing these and then I'll show you the final product. So there you have it, the final product, the sausage and egg McMuffins with hash browns. Make sure you give it a try, and if you like, remember to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. We'll have more videos next week.